Good. So good morning, gang, and those who are joining me and those that are pulling faces at me from a distance. Let me slurp my coffee and we'll get started. Right, let's come all the way down to lying on our backs. Now, if lying on your back is a preferred position for you today, then don't do it. Come to a sitting position. All I need you to do is just focus on that breath. So placing your hand on heart center, hand on the tummy. We're going to take that low, slow breath in. And then a really deep breath out. Just let it all go. Taking another hugest breath in. We're just going to exhale it all out. All that tension, everything gone. Let's see if we can just extend that out breath. Each time making that out breath a little lower, a little slower, a little longer. As you do so, just feeling the body let go and release. Fabulous. So here we can feel that hand on our tummy start to rise as we breathe in. You can feel it fall away as we breathe out. We're going to bring our hands to our heart center. Inhale, take our hands all the way overhead, reaching to the top of the mat, lengthening into the toe tips. And exhale, bring our arms down by our side and flex our feet. Inhale, lengthening long, pointing, stretching. With exhale, bring down by sides. Keeping that going, taking it long. Let it stretch. And exhale. One more time, taking it long. Maybe having a wiggle of the hips side to side to lengthen into toe tip. And this time as we exhale, we're going to slide those heels in towards us and hug those knees all the way in. And once we're here, we're just going to do holding onto the tops of our knees, backs of our thighs, whatever works for us. We're just going to gently circle those ankles. Now circling the ankles is lemon squeezy peasy easy. Now I want you to do it slow motion, really slow. And for you, those of you on the recording, this is not aimed at you. For those who happen to be joining me live, this is aimed at you. Slow means really slow. I know you hate deep work, and just do it slowly and take it the opposite direction. Really slowly. And the slower you go, the harder it is. fabulous. And then we're just going to point and flex the feet. I've got choices here. If you want to, we can just keep the knees together, ankles together, and we can circle around as a unit. It's just massages more into the lower back. Or we're going to cross the ankles and open the knees wide and do our gynecological circles. Your choice, which one you want to do. And let's just tally this motion and this breath. And let's take it in reverse. Bring everything back. We're hugging into the chest. We're going to cross those ankles, grab hold of those feet, and then we're going to release them. We're going to release our feet to the floor. I lied, so again, I'm going to take our arms wide, and we're going to do a supine twist. Take it all the way over to the 3 breath cycles here. So we're stretching in the opposite direction. Gazing towards your cup of tea, cup of coffee. I'm not drinking it yet. I'll come up to sitting in a minute. Just feeling that huge, lovely cross-lateral stretch. And then pressing those feet into the ground, bring the knees all the way up. Take it over to the other side. And feel that lovely cross-body stretch. Knees all the way back up to center. And again, we're going to inhale, hug those knees into the chest. Breath out. And the next time we inhale, we're going to lengthen long to get everything long. Fingertips, toe tips, stretch again. Deep breath in. And then we're going to exhale, and we're going to roll all the way over onto those tummies. Now remember, using cushions, bolsters, however it makes your back feel more comfortable in this position. If you're, of course, a tummy sleeper, and this is morning, this is going to be no problem whatsoever. We're going to come down to lie on our tummies. Folding the forearms, placing the forehead on the forearms on the floor. Try so not to narrow. Just have a gentle wiggle of the hips side to side. Can you send that breath low and slow down into the tummy? We'll bring the heels up towards our bottoms. And just circling around, backwards and forwards, side to side, whatever comes naturally to you. And send that tummy down. That breath into the tummy. Sense that tummy move. Sense that tummy expanding onto the mat as you breathe in. Let those feet come gently down to the floor. We're going to rise up into a baby sphinx or cobra. Slide those elbows out to me. Stretch the tummy forward and then lifting it up. Got that lengthening. The head's nice and loosey-goosey. With exhale, fall. We're going to bring those heels towards the bottom. Just circling around. Seeing if we can lengthen those knees away. Normally a pointer, try flexing. If you're normally a flexor, try pointing. And bring those feet all the way down. Let it inhale and exhale, rise up into this baby sphinx. Stretch that tummy forward and then lifting it. Radiating the heart forward, hips and waistband anchored on the ground. A little shake of the head. And then a gentle nod of the head. And release down. Let's bring those heels towards the bottom. Breathing it through. Heaviness. Releasing those legs to the ground. One more time. We're going to rise up into that baby sphinx cobra. Stretching forward and then up. And each time we rise, we should find it a little easier, a little freer, with a little bit more movement. Maybe a gentle rock of hips side to side. Gentle shake of the head. Gentle nod of the head. Gently release it all the way down to the ground. Fabulous. From here, we're going to tuck those toes, bring those hands underneath the shoulders, elbows close into the side. We're going to inhale, exhale, and rise up into our tabletop. Into our tabletop position. Have a gentle wag of the tail. Always feels nice and good. Fabulous. And then we're going to inhale, take it through into our cow or flat back. Remember, everybody's back is different. You take it to your form that works for you, including the head or not. And then exhale, curl all the way underneath into that cow. And again, coming all the way through into that cow. Exhale. And inhale. Brilliant. From here, we're going to sink it back into child's pose. Send it this tailbone back, arms reaching forward. From here, inhale, bring it back in our tabletop position. From our tabletop position, I just want you to step your knees slightly further back and your hands slightly further forward. We're on a table which has stretchy out legs. Okay, we're going to inhale, take it into that cow position. So just stretching your tail feathers up into the air as much as they want to go. And all wiggle side to side. And as we exhale, we're going to send those tail feathers back into child's pose. And then we're going to inhale, rise up, and take it into that cow position. The tail feathers, your pelvis is tilted downwards. And then we're going to sink it back. Now, for some of you, this might not be great, so in which case you just do a regular cat and cow. It's just a version which some people like, some people don't, and that's okay. You just pick and choose what we want to do, coming back up, stretching those tail feathers high, a gentle wag of our table, which tables don't really wag, but gentle just. Okie dokie. I said that before somebody tells me off. And we're going to sink it all the way back into our child's pose. And then bring it all the way back up. There, just bring those knees back underneath the hips. We're going to send ourselves sideways into our mermaid. So bring the heels towards, we're going to take the hand all the way up and over. I'm just seeing if it feels comfortable, if it doesn't feel comfortable, if there's any punching. And remember, move around your joints till it feels right for you. All the way back. And we're just going to flick and flack and take it to the other side. And just noticing which side moves, which side doesn't. Just seeing to keep that breath regular and rhythmic. And then take those legs over to this side. And we're going to take mermaid over. That gently unravel. Whereas we're going to come to seated. Now, before you get too comfortable in your position, I want you to think about having a cushion and a spiky ball. I'll just let those of you who want to go and grab one of those, go and grab one of those. I'm just going to have a slurp of coffee as I oh, there is a professional that could just pull it all just to there. I'm impressed. Right, let's just see if this is going to play games now. We're going to start at the ankle and we're going to release into the calf, into the leg, and then we're going to do some work on the hips just to get them moved, because you of mine are a little bit not playing the game today. So we're going to take our tennis ball. I prefer to do this seated. If you seated, it's not seated, that's the word. If you prefer to do it standing, feel free. Turn sideways, you can see. You just place the tennis ball under and we're just rolling it backwards and forwards. In reflexology, we have 5. The foot is divided into 5 stripes up the foot. Now, if you can think about all your 5 toes, such as rolling up and down the ball, and your 5 toe lines, although they all converge. And I want you to think about taking it sideways, all the way underneath the toes, and underneath the balls of those toes, and just feel them moving or not moving, as the case may be. And then just behind the balls of the toes. So we're not forcing down, we're just letting the weight of our leg just meld over this ball. And you might find a little sore patch. Little sore patch is probably wrong, a little tender patch. You think, oh, now you might want to gently roll on it a little bit more. I wouldn't force down on it any further, but just move around in that area a little bit more. And then take it sideways under the heels. If you think about it, if you're going to force, your body's going to restrict the breath. It's going to hold its breath. And the whole thing about this is we want to get the body to relax. So breathing is essential. Fabulous. From here, turning that foot to lie sideways. I'm just going to move my fitbit out the side. We're going to take our ball. If we don't have a ball, we're going to use the palm of our hands. And we're just going to slide it up that leg. Might feel wonderful on this side. It might feel a bit tight. Everybody's different. And think about also that circle round the bony prominence of your ankle. Yes. And then we're going to turn that leg over. And we're taking it all the way down the bottom. Make my Fitbit. All the way up. Gently picking it up. Maybe a little bit sideways as well, if that feels good for you. Fabulous. Taking that ball, we're going to place it underneath the centre of our foot, and we're just going to let it roll gently side to side. And then we can inch it up a bit. And roll side to side. Inch it up, and you will find a point you think, ooh, that is interesting. And you can hang around there or not. Now you can take the foot just like straight side to side, or you can take the foot and you can create rainbows with your foot, which move the ball as well. And you just find what works for you, and you just move that foot up a bit. And do a little further up the goal. And a little bit further. Woohoo! And that's where I suddenly think, oh, yes, exactly that idea. Whoa. Ah, your young man, he should be doing this one as well. Sorry, for those of you recording, that's not your young man that should be doing this. Those that are live, it's the young man then. Fabulous. And let's take it to the other side, the other foot. Just starting with the ball underneath the foot, taking it backwards and forwards. Now, whether you have a spiky ball or you have a tennis ball, really whatever you prefer. It's one that you'll use, one that you feel comfortable with, and not all spiky balls are the same. You really have to feel them. Some of them are a lot more hard and not as malleable. Taking it side to side. Some of them have their prickles feel more pointed, and some of them the prickles feel much flatter. So you really do have to have a little play around and see. And if it's not for you, don't persevere using it, because A, you won't. So at that point, I would donate it on to somebody else within the family who's irritating you and say to them to try it instead. No, I didn't really suggest that, of course. Don't use it and give it, donate it or bin it, unfortunately. And from here, let's take those lines. And then from there, we are going to take it into the calf. That calf. I'm starting with the outside. You start with the inside. It doesn't really matter. Both sides need to be done. So what has the ankle and the lower leg got to do with the hip, Isabel? Well, if you don't release, if you think of it, the whole body's interconnected, so everything's got to do with the hip in one respect, but also if the ankle's not moving properly, it's going to put pressure on the knee, and whatever pressurizes the knee pressurizes into the hip, because the hip compensates to protect the knee. So, and if the hips are hurting, stroke lower back's hurting, then everything's, oh, excuse my big bruise here. I didn't walk into a dishwasher. Everybody with a bruise about that high has usually walked into a dishwasher. No, this one wasn't a dishwasher. I walked into a box. And the box has been there for years and years and years and years. So I ought to have known the box was there. But no, I still managed to walk into it. Fabulous. And bring that to the floor. We're going to place the leg on, and we're just going to take it, either forming those rainbows with the foot, or just rolling backwards and forwards, whatever works for you. And just noticing which leg feels slightly different. Just moving it around. So this side feels a lot easier than the other side. Okay, I might have spoken too soon. That's just one of those things. And I want you to think, are you noticing whether you're holding your breath? Can we keep that breath nice and low and slow all the way down into our tummies? Moving the ball up slightly each time. And bring it back to seated. We've got one final thing which we're going to do with the ankles before we start moving up the chain. We're going to hold on to one. So if you want to do this sitting on this chair, feel free. Or we're just going to hold on to this ankle in front. I'm just going to move this camera slightly down a bit. Okay. So this leg, we're going to point the toe, and we're going to take it sideways into a line, figure of 8 for that ankle. And we're trying to get the ankle to move. It's not the toes that are doing this figure of 8. Really slowly. How do I put somebody on slow motion here? Okay, we're getting it sideways. Now, the slower you go, the slower you go. I'm sorry, guys, those are recordings. It's not about you. The harder it is. and take it in reverse. Brilliant. Okay, we're just going to place that foot down. We can extend the other leg underneath it, and we're going to come into a simple twist. Stretch it all the way around. The hips are square to the front. Then feet forward. We're just taking that rotation from the waist. Brilliant. We're going to grab hold of this leg. We're going to bring it up. We're going to interlace our fingers into the toes. Okay. Now we're going to circle. Brilliant. One way, and then circle as we say. Brilliant. And then we're just going to rock the baby, take it all the way around. One way, and let's take it round the other. And then from here, we're going to place that foot down to the side. Okay, so it's lying on its side. Knees are together. We're going to interlace these fingers, take it high to the sky. Reaching it up. Okie dokie, and then we're going to take that forward fold. Now, some of you, your nose might well be towards your toes. For the rest of us mere mortals, or without, it's usually hypermobility within a certain area that allows you to do certain poses. So I am hypermobile in certain areas, but definitely not in this area. And actually, there was a study done that said what the percentage of hypermobile people of the population was. If I get it right, I think it was 25% of the population. It's actually hypermobile to a certain degree in certain joints. So it's not uncommon. However, being hypermobile in all areas is slightly more uncommon. And then bring it all the way back up. And let's take it to the other side. Okie dokie. Let's interlace those toes. Holding it on and circle it round. And it's the hypermobility bit, which means that certain people, when they're doing yoga, can do certain expressions of poses and make it look a certain way, whilst other people can't because their structural setup and their hypermobility doesn't work in that area. Okie dokie, and then we're going to gently rock this baby. And that doesn't mean that anybody's pose is more or less advanced or more or less, because everybody's pose is right for them. Let's get it round. And then we're going to place that foot down. We're going to hug that knee round. Now, this time, every time you inhale, can you sit a little taller? As we exhale, we take a little bit more of a rotation if you want to. Inhale, sit a little taller. And then release it all the way back to the front, bringing that knee to sit on top. I'm going to inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, take that forward fold. Wiggling or stillness, remember that's your choice too. Gently bring it all the way back up. Fabulous. We're going to take it over, back in to our mermaids. We're going to interlace those fingers, inhale, reach for the sky. Up here, we're going to exhale, take it over. Hand drops behind, other hand reaches for those toes. If you want to, other hand can reach into the back of the waistband. Hand is behind. Brilliant. From here, we're going to take one hand to the ground. We're going to lengthen the other leg out long, and we're going to take it up into our side planks. Take it all the way over. Brilliant. And taking it round into that tabletop position. From here, we're going to exhale, take it up into downward dog. Keeping that head between the elbows. Fabulous. Reaching those tail feathers for the sky. Not interested in heels hitting the deck. Thinking about tilting that pelvis to the sky. Inhale. Breathe out. We're going to sink our mermaid to the other side. We can come down. We interlace. Inhale. Reach it out. Exhale. Take it down. Just gentle movement or stillness. Everybody's different. Think about pressing that head backwards into the hand that's just flopped down behind it. So we're not falling forwards. We're trying to keep the body as straight as we can. Fabulous. From here, we're going to bring that hand down, extend that top leg, come up into that supported side plank. Stretching and lengthening. Brilliant. And from there, we're going to take it into our table. I'm going to move around, otherwise it ends up off camera. Fabulous. From here, we're going to, from our table, take it up into our downward dog. I'm going to hoik my trousers back up, and the pajamas, sorry. Gentle pedal through the knees. Brilliant. I'm going to inhale, exhale, take the left leg up in the air. Bring the heel to the bottom. Okay, open that knee up to the side. Fabulous. And then we're just going to do a circle with that knee. So you're just circling that knee around in the air. Heel is towards the bottom. If this does not feel good for you, do not do it. One more time. Fabulous. Step that foot forward. Long low lunge. Gentle rock backwards and forwards. Back knee down on the ground if you wish. Fabulous. Hand nearest the foot. We're going to inhale, raise that high from the sky. We're going to exhale, anchor that knee down to the ground. Bring ourselves up. We're going to take ourselves into proposal. Hand comes in front of the thigh, other hand reaches over. And we're gently going to circle this proposal. So the hand's going to come forward, great big circle. Inhale is going to take it up to the sky. Take it all the way forward. Now, if you want, you can sink forward, or you can keep your legs more or less so. Brilliant. From here, we're going to rain that hand down to the ground. Other hand joins it. Lift the back knee. Step the feet together back into downward dog. Pedaling it through. You're going to take the other leg up in here. Heel to the bottom. It's off camera, but the heel is at the bottom. The knee is out. And we're going to circle this knee round. 2, 3, 4. And in the opposite direction. 1, 2. That's just my knees cracking. Fabulous. And then we're going to step that foot forward. Long low lunge. Gentle rock and roll. From here, hand closest to the foot. Inhale, let's take it high to the sky. Brilliant. Anchoring that back knee down. Inhale, lifting up. Coming into our proposal. Hand goes in front, hand goes over. Brilliant. The thumb is reaching for the wall behind, the fingers are reaching for the wall to the side of you. So opening up both sides. And then from here, we're going to take that great big guitar circle, taking it forward and back. Obviously sinking forward as you do it, sinking back as you travel. Brilliant. This time we're going to bring that hand to the ground. Other hand joins it, lifting back up, long low lunge, sending it back into that downward dog, pedaling it through. We're going to inhale, bring ourselves forward into that plank position, anchoring those knees if you want to. Brilliant. Breathing it through, rock and roll backwards and forwards, total stillness, everything's different. Then anchoring the knees down, untucking the toes, elbows close into the side. We're gently going to belly flop down to the floor. With slightly more control than the belly flop. Okay, so we come to lie back down. On our tummies, fabulous. Have a little wiggle of the hips side to side. Now, we're going to bring the left heel back to the bottom, the right heel. Again, gentle wiggle side to side. Check out on your breath. Is it still high? Or can we take it back low and slow again? Brilliant. We've got options now. Options one, we can stay here if that feels as much as your lower back wants to do today. It's quite an opening of the front of the hip flexors. Okay, and remember you can always put cushions, bolsters underneath your tummy, underneath your chest to give your hip flexors a little bit more space. Or option two, we're going to come into lying bow, so losing the left leg to the floor, taking the right heel to the bottom, reaching round with the right hand to grab right foot. We can stay here, chest to the ground, or we can rise up, tuck that toe into the back of the elbow, keep those hip bones pressed into the ground, chest is facing forward. And just breathing it through. One more breath cycle here. Now I'm going to release that down. Take a wag or both feet. And then we're going to take it to the other side. Heel to the bottom, reaching around to grab and rising if you wish to. Pressing those hips firmly down into the ground. Brilliant. And releasing it all the way down. Holding those forearms, placing the forehead on the forearms. Have a little wiggle of the hips side to side. Then we've got choices. We can either come up into a cobra or into a sphinx. Choose what feels better for you. Everybody's different. Whatever you're doing, you're going to anchor the bottom part of your knickers into the ground. Before you rise, stretching the tummy forward, whichever position feels good for you. Sphinx or cobra, lies low or as high as you wish. And then when you're there, just think about sending that breath low and slow. A little bit of movement side to side. And you bring it all the way down to the floor. Fabulous. From there, we can take it over onto our backs. And we're just going to take our back in the opposite direction totally. Let's have those knees all the way in. Keeping the ankles, knees together. We're just going to circle the knees around in one way. And then we're just going to circle the knees round in the other way. And then keeping the ankles crossed, which is not open the knees into the gynecological circles. Moving those hips around one way. And take it in reverse. Taking the feet to the floor, we're going to take the feet wide to the edges of our mat, knees roughly ceiling, forming those cactus arms. And we're just gently going to breathe our knees one way and breathe our knees the other way. Just making them gently move side to side with a breath in, with a breath out. Brilliant. And from there, we're just going to walk our feet all the way, and we're going to sandwich the knees and the toes together and the legs. We're zipping them together. We're going to press into the feet. We're going to lift our tail feathers 2 centimeters off the floor, and we're going to scoot them over to the left hand side 2 centimeters. So our back is now in a slight zigzag. From this position, we're going to let our knees roll in the opposite direction as a unit, keeping those knees together. And we're going to turn the gaze in the opposite direction. Keeping that breath flowing in. And that breath flowing in. Just seeing, are you holding, are you tensing, are you tightening? Tightening, it's not a word. Tightening. Can you relax with that breath? Just be aware of the areas that you're tightening. At least there's a little bit of breath down there, there's a bit of awareness. Just see if you can relax. Fabulous. Pressing those feet into the floor, bring those knees all the way back. We're going to take it to the other side. We're going to press into the head, into the feet, lift the tail feathers, shunt them over to the other side. And then we're going to bring the knees down to the opposite direction. And the gaze in the opposite direction. And gently press those feet to the floor, bring the knees all the way up. We're going to take our body long. Actually, yes, take it all the way up. Extending both legs. We're going to flex both feet. We're going to bring the hands just behind the back of the head, so the feet are flexed. Now, if that feels enough for your back, you can just stay here. If you want to, we're going to curl that chin all the way up into our chest. So we're just lifting the head, the tops of the shoulders, and we'll press that chin down into the chest. Well, pressing is the wrong word, but that's where the chest is. And we'll bring it all the way down. And the next time we exhale, we're turning the head slightly so it's more of the sniff your armpit type position. I'm going to exhale, take the head up. So it's going to be looking down one hip to one foot. And bring it back down. Turning the head to the other side. Sniff the armpit up on the other side. Feet flexed. Just put it all the way down. And from here, we're just going to come into Savasana. Everything flop. Now awareness down into the breath. Taking that big breath in. We're going to hold. We're going to breathe out. Taking that breath in. Hold. Breathe out. Yeah, taking that breath in. We're going to hold. Breathe out. Last cycle through in. And hold. Out. So as we exhale, we're going to bring those knees all the way in. Hug those knees into the chest. Options, you roll to the right hand side, or we're going to cross those ankles, grab hold of the feet, and we're going to rock and roll up to sitting. Everybody's different. Do what feels good. In. Coming back into this easy seated position of your choice, whatever it might be. Let's inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, we're going to take that gentle twist around to the left. Letting the head drop down into the chest. In. And gently unravel. Let's take it to the other side. Take it all the way up to the sky. Or as high as you want to go. Exhale, let's take it to the other direction. Let the head fall. Continue to bring it all the way back. Let's take that seated mind move, stretching it over. Head loose and goosey. Oh, your headband fell off. I couldn't even find a band for my head this morning. Bring it all the way up. Our cats have this thing where they like playing with the bands, so they take the bands. And then it's a moot point whether you actually want the band back afterwards anyway. Stretch it through. And bring it all the way up. On that note, guys, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me. Have a lovely rest of Sunday, those of you doing it on Sunday, and I will see you later in the week sometime. Take care, guys. Bye.